Well, I came to Dr. McCord about 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years ago, on referral from my chiropractor. I'd never really had back problems before in my life. I'd strained a muscle a time or two, but never anything that I would relate to any kind of nerve pain. So I started out at a chiropractor here in town, and he was able to decompress my spine to the point where it did give me some temporary relief. But within a day or two, I would get right back to where I was before with really sciatic type pain down my left leg primarily. And it just so happens that my chiropractor was a patient of Dr. McCord's, and he referred me over here to let Dr. McCord do an evaluation to see if in fact that I did have some disc problem, because he really got to the point where he could not help me anymore. So he called Dr. McCord and referred me over here, and that's how I hooked up with Dr. McCord. My chiropractor had excellent results in dealing with Dr. McCord. He had, I think, several of his discs that had degenerated over the years due to some injury he had. So he really convinced me that I needed to go see Dr. McCord and let him evaluate me. So that's kind of how I ended up over here, and went through the process, the evaluation process, and it was determined that I had 3 of my discs that had degenerated to the point that I really needed to do something about it. So I had my lower 3 discs fused, and I'm not going to fool anybody. That's a tough surgery to go through. It takes some recuperation, but you have to be diligent and do the work that you have to do. But immediately when I woke up from surgery, I knew that some of the pain was gone, the nerve pain was gone. So I knew it. I knew it had worked for me pretty well. I was really active before, and it really got to the point where I could not run. I could run for short stretches, but it really impacted my quality of life. So that's one of the prime drivers for me to come see Dr. McCord, was to get back that quality of life and be able to be active the way I wanted to be. And since that time, it was a slow recovery, but I progressively built my strength up to the point where I'm running 5 days a week again, and running about, I don't run marathons or races, but I do like to run to keep fit. I do lift weights, so I've had to change some of what I do to help my back and make sure that I don't injure it. Since my surgery, I've really recovered what I think is pretty well. I took my time, I eased into doing more and more, and I'm back up to running 5 days a week, most weeks, at a minimum of 4. I do weights, but I watch some weights that he told me to avoid that would be directly impacting my spine. So I have had to adjust my activities, but I'm just as active as I ever was before. So the surgery is really a success story for me. And I've had, there are a few setbacks that you will encounter during the recovery process, but nothing that you can't get over with maybe just taking it easy a day or two, backing off and adjusting what you're doing to give your body a rest. So it's really been a positive experience for me, and if anybody out there is suffering from pain, it does not going to hurt you to come and be evaluated to see what's going on and if in fact he could provide some relief for you. Well, I think the thing Dr. McCord sold me on was, he explained the technique and explained how what he would do would be different than what most people would do. And, I could visualize what he was talking about, and, it helped me say, well, it all makes sense to me. I'm getting the cushion back in, I'm getting the curve back in my spine, and, it's going to provide that relief that I need. So, he was able to visualize it in a way I could understand it and buy into it. I would encourage anybody that's in pain, especially if it's affecting their quality of life or how they earn their living, don't wait. Get something done. Come in for an evaluation. See if you can get some immediate relief. If your insurance companies or providers are pushing back, challenge them. Try to get something done immediately. Dr. McCord really helped me get my life back to where I was before. I'm running again. I'm active. I'm enjoying life again.